Chapter 23. Do you ever think about killing yourself? Don't lie. We've all done it. I asked you that question once before. Back then I might have meant it, might have felt differently about checking out, taking an early bath, going out west. But now I understand something I didn't before. I don't want to die. Not just in the vague, not today Satan kind of way. I mean in the fuck no, not like this, I'm not ready, screaming defiance into the Reaper's face kind of way. I want to live. Look at Prue, standing next to me with her eyes lit like righteous fire, jaw clenched, fists balled. She's ready to battle monsters. I love her. Of course I do. I always have. So, if I have to walk into a killer's house to protect her, I will. No question. If I have to walk out again, dragging her Echo and the souls of all our friends behind me, I'll do that too. Then there's Echo. Quiet, strange, brilliant Echo. We don't even know if she's still alive, but if she is, she needs us. She's one of us. I spent so much of our living time thinking about dying. I owe it to the fallen to live their lives for them too. Peachy, Gavid, Unit, Monk, Twink. I owe them not just the best of times, the biggest laughs, the warmest hugs. I owe them my life. Living well's the best revenge. Baby, I am calling you on that. 3 fucking cheers, sweetie. And of course there's Mum. Through all this we've grown closer than we've been since I was a little girl. My lovely Mum. Nobody wants to make their mum sad, but there's more too. Sure, raindrops on roses and whispering whatever the fuck, but I mean the good shit. There's music. The shh of vinyl as it slides out of its sleeve. That split second when the needle hits the groove before the guitar rings out, when you feel it coming down the wire. The high notes of a metal solo lifting you through the clouds, the galloping beats that carry you on the back of a giant beast. The choruses that unite thousands in one voice. And of course, the sacred rite of rock and roll heaven, the riff. So no, I'm not ready to lie down and let a twisted librarian who never got her funsies tell me her terrible experience gets to cast any more shadows over mine. I'm not ready to let her decide what my life looks like. I'm not ready to become a body in her fucking story. She's the villain in mine. Tonight, there are 1,000 things I could be doing that would be less suicidal than this. But here we go anyway. Into the valley of death. Or the kitchen of danger, at least. Orchard House is a particularly nice house. Well appointed, up a long drive, not overlooked, not too close to its neighbours. Not a mansion, but bigger than anything else on the street. When you reach the top, it's serene. Set back from the road, quiet, self-contained. I guess it got its name from the plot of land it was built on. There are still a fair few trees scattered through the garden, like they've been allowed to stay on as witnesses. Prue and I walk up Miss Park's subtly winding path to her front door. A soft yellow porch light glows above it, warm and low, casting an inviting kind of haze. That's when I notice the door is ajar. We talked about sneaking up. Strategy, angles, windows, stealth. But in the end, 2 warrior princesses looked each other in the eye and decided, we go through the front door, side by side. If we'd been carrying metaphorical 6-shooters, we'd have unclasped the holsters. As it is, our hands are empty. The slate sign on the wooden slats beside the door frame reads, Orchard House, in ye old English typeface. Etched beneath it, a tiny woodcut of an apple coiled by a serpent. A minuscule tell. You'd have to be looking for it to notice anything strange. Side by side at the door. Prue reaches forward and pushes it open. The hinges don't creak, there's no eerie sound, well-oiled, spotless, organised. It swings open smooth and we peer inside, into mundane suburban domesticity. I take a step forward. For a second, I consider doing that thing you see in cop shows, rush in, back to the wall, clear the exits like I've been trained, but I haven't. I look left. Prue looks right. We're through the door. Picture me talking into my chest radio. We're in! But we're alone. No backup. No guy in a chair. We're not even live streaming this for safety. We're raw dogging this murder spree to the end. Just inside Miss Park's raincoat, hanging on the hook next to her summer coat, next to her gardening apron. Beneath them on the floor, 2 pairs of the plain, flat-heeled pumps she wears to school. 1 pair of relatively spotless, worn white plimsolls. Another, short, ankle-cut Wellington boots, each left and right foot placed facing outward, each pair equidistant from the others. Like this is a product display in a shop window, We make our way into the kitchen. It's as spotless as the reception room, nothing out on the counters, no detritus, no washing up, not even a sandwich toast toaster or a trailing kettle cable. Everything's neatly tidied away. Minimalist, clinical, a microwave oven sits under one of the cabinets. The clock on it is set correctly, unlike ours at home, which is permanently blinking midnight. Next to it, a block of 4 kitchen knives. I look at Prue. Prue looks at me. We consider tooling up. There's a table in the middle of the kitchen, 4 chairs around it, nothing on it but a fruit bowl, nothing in the fruit bowl but 3 pears and 1 apple. I move to the back of the kitchen to check potential escape routes. Bifold doors lead out to the garden, a big flat lawn, more trees. It runs quite far back. We're at the end of Long Acre. There's no one behind Orchard House. This is the edge of town. From here, there's a direct line to Tinwell Grove, and beyond that, Knox Farm. Not quite last house on the left, more like the last house left before Countingdon stops. Through the kitchen, it opens into the dining room. A long, thin table with 6 chairs. 6 is too many. I can't imagine all 6 have ever been used at once. A narrow table runner lies down the middle. Standing at its centre, a candelabra, 3 tall, grey wax candles, unlit, unused. The artwork on the walls is unremarkable. Landscapes, local history scenes, exactly what you'd expect from a single middle-aged librarian with no discernible characteristics. Where the dining room runs parallel to the hallway, there's the staircase. It bends halfway up, a corner you can't see around. We check everything, left and right. Apart from a small utility room that leads to the garage, there's nothing doing downstairs. We haven't spoken, but we've been communicating. Gestures, nods, eye flicks. Prue and I have our own language by now. Pointing, tapping, silent signals only we understand. Or so we thought. Because, as if we're being watched once we've had a good look around, the weird shit starts. From above, faint but unmistakable. A low electric hum, the fuzz of an amp coming to life. Needle crackle, a stylus touches down on a vinyl groove upstairs. Then, a song. That song. The one every kid learns in their first week with a guitar. The forbidden one. We freeze at the bottom of the stairs like Wayne and Garth dropped into the wrong franchise. Stairway to Heaven trickles down from above. It'd be funny if we weren't expecting to be stabbed any minute. Stairway to Heaven! What a cliche. But the message is clear. Come on up. Prue and I hold hands. We step toward the wide staircase. We take the first step together, then the second, third. It goes like this. The 4th, the 5th. We reach the turn, and that's when it changes. The decor shift is the first thing to feel weird. Downstairs, pale greys, clean cream finishes, soft furnishings. Up here, rubbed back plaster, exposed brick. A different temperature entirely. A gleam of chrome catches my eye. It's the lights reflecting on the heavy frame of a massive poster. Not just wall art, a shrine piece, tilted out ever so slightly from the wall to impose over those beneath it. It's a trick I've seen before. In churches, the poster declares in multicoloured logos Monsters of Rock, Castle Donington, 1988, Iron Maiden, Kiss, David Lee Roth, Guns N' Roses, Megadeth, Halloween. This looks like it. We've come to the right place. We continue our ascent. And now we can see there's more on the walls. Not just that one huge dominant poster, frames of album covers, photos of musicians mid-solo drenched in stage lights, sparks raining down behind them, hair caught in wind machines, Gibson flying Vs, spandex, pyro and poise. It's not just decoration, it's a shrine to 80s heavy metal. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold and she's buying a stairway to heaven. We see another sizable poster. Sure, it's smaller than the gargantuan Monsters of Rock one, but still bold enough it might have been pulled from a record shop window display. Annihilator! Alice in Hell! At the top of the landing, she stands on a staircase, nightdress billowing, doll lolling by her side, scattered corpses on the stairwell behind her. I've never heard Annihilator. I don't know who Alison is, but this feels prophetic, hung at the top of a staircase, considering what we think is waiting for us up here. When she gets there, she knows, if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. By the time we reach the landing, we're surrounded. Overwhelmed. There's Dio's holy diver, that demon lashing his chain across the waves at a drowning priest. There's Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, the tortured man writhing on a 4-poster bed, goblins and demons leering in. There's the giant chrome beast from Defenders of the Faith, all jaws and armor and mechanical fury, all of it professionally framed, matched borders, curated like a museum, a gallery of heaviosity. There are 4 doors on this landing, so 3 bedrooms and a bathroom probably, but with all the doors closed it's hard to tell which is which. Every inch of wall space is covered in rock and metal iconography. Prue gestures to our left. We step forward silently. The now muffled sound of the record player still jangles from behind the door. Feels like a good bet. I turn the handle. Prue raises her fist. The door swings slowly open. We were right about one thing. This is where the record player is kept. From floor to ceiling, wall-to-wall albums. Easily several thousand of them. Proper, purpose-built shelving units. And while I don't get time to check if they're alphabetized and chronologically sorted by release date, I can tell most of them are immaculate. Vinyl in better condition than most people's most treasured family heirlooms. More framed museum pieces, posters, sleeve art, a guitar. At the far end of the room, beneath the window where the roof starts to slope, there's a turntable sitting atop a gleaming hi-fi stack. Graphic equalizers ripple green and gold with every peak of the Led Zeppelin. Below that, radio band. Below that, twin cassette deck. Below that, CD tray. This, I believe, is what my mum always called a MIDI hi-fi. I have no idea what that means. Robert's at the stage where the forests are echoing with laughter. It feels like the right time to step forward and lift the needle. I'm pretty sure the grand anthem of dad rock is not going to help us right now. So I move into the room, flip up the plastic cover on the turntable and reach for the tone arm, ready to silence the record the way Monk taught me. But suddenly, I'm engulfed by the rage, by the injustice, by the sheer bloody nerve of all this showboating haunted house nonsense. So instead of lifting the needle with 2 fingers like a record store clerk, I slap it straight across the vinyl surface. A loud scratch rips through the air. Then I grab the whole turntable and wrench it off the stack. Clonk, bang, fuzz, dead air. I spin on my heels, burning. "Sarah!" I shout. I swipe a lit lava lamp off the side and pull over the amp. I kick it into the CD tower. It topples, scattering discs across the floor. "Oh, Miss Park!" Prue clenches her fists anew beside me. It's almost the Wild West scene again. If it were, I'd be in the street outside the saloon. In my cowboy drawl, I'd intone, "Sarah Park, I'm calling you out!" Silence. Then quietly, faintly from the furthest door across the landing. Riff. Echo. Muffled. Fragile. Prue takes a step forward. I catch her arm. I don't say it, but my eyes do. Careful, it might be a trap. She pinches the top of her nose with her eyebrows. I understand every word. Of course it's a fucking trap. We don't speak. We run. Boots thudding. Breath tight. We slam open the door across from us. And there she is. Echo. Sitting at the end of another long table, eyes wide, terrified, trying not to cry. Both her hands on the wooden surface, palms up. She has candle wax pooled in her palms. The room is huge. The biggest in the house. All around us. More heavy metal ephemera than we thought possible. Posters, models, instruments, stacks of records, memorabilia, lit candles, chains. And by the window, Miss Park. But not as we knew her. "What did you do to my first pressing of Led Zeppelin 4, she says. "Why don't you suck a fart out of my arse, you twisted witch?" I snap. Prue lets out a short bark of laughter. Wow, that's got some character. She turns to our friend and, "Echo, you okay, honey? What's going on?" Echo nods. Sort of. One tear breaks free, sliding down her pale cheek, betraying the strength she's trying to project. I can see her hands are so coated in wax, they're stuck to the table, like we've interrupted some sick ceremony. I'm getting a proper look at Sarah now, and I realise why she looks so different. She's dressed like a twisted version of one of us. A ghost from a gig that never ended. Skin-tight jeans, torn at the knees. Black cowboy boots with skulls etched in, a bullet belt slung low over a studded belt. Her Alice Cooper Raise Your Fist and Yell t-shirt has the collar hacked out, giving it a jagged neckline. Around her neck, a giant silver cruciform hung upside down on a beaded chain. Over her shoulders, a denim battle jacket, studs on the shoulders, patches filling the panels. Judas Priest, Metallica, Megadeth, Halloween, Anthrax. Her surprisingly muscular arms are bare to the wrist. Those wrists are wrapped in studded leather straps and metal bangles. Fingerless gloves. Her greying hair is teased out to glam metal proportions, fanned by hairspray and static into a look that's wider than her shoulders. It's utterly ridiculous. She's got wingtip eyeliner, a black line around her lips, a fake beauty mark on one cheek, huge hoop earrings. She looks like she's been waiting her whole life for Whitesnake to pull up in a convertible. And it's proper cringe. Mrs. Havisham in denim and snakeskin, and yet beneath all that war paint, she's still her. Still Miss Park. Still the mousy little librarian who made sure we had our due dates and card stamps. But now it's abundantly clear. She's out of her fucking mind. Miss Park steps forward, slow and theatrical, like she's descending on wires to an invisible stage. Boys always start soft, she says. Her voice is low. Measured. Not calm. Not unhinged. Performed. They can express themselves at first, they write lyrics, they learn the love language of poetry. You can share through the eyes, through the ears, through sharing the same air. They look at you like you're music. She walks past the edge of the table, fingers trailing lightly over the top of a really pretty vintage Marshall stack. But then they grow hard. They stop longing, they stop playing. The music turns into silence. The silences become bruises, or worse. Her eyes flick up. Meet mine. They look at you differently then. Not like a song, like a number they've already played, like something they used to like until they found something better. She gestures to the framed photos on the wall. In 1989, I thought I'd found real ones. Dreamers, artists, boys who meant what they said. They played shows, wrote songs. I was their muse. She pauses beside a photo of that long-forgotten high school band. Touches the glass like she's feeling for the letters carved in a headstone. Then things shifted. They took what they wanted, left me behind, left what we had behind. So I let the trees take them. Nobody speaks. She turns back to us, eyes gleaming with certainty. Now it's my turn, my stage, my moment in the lights. She moves toward Echo, who hasn't shifted from the table. Hands upturned, expression unreadable. Sarah lowers her voice. I saw your pack. I watched, I listened. You were so special, so very different. I thought, maybe they're the ones. Maybe they can be saved. You killed more than half of us, I say. She doesn't blink. I saved the ones that mattered. A silence falls. Even the candle flames seem to pause mid-flicker. You can't possibly know what they would have become, I say. You think being kind or sensitive or confused makes them safe? It doesn't. That's how they start. But wolves always grow teeth. Prue is staring at her like she could incinerate her by will alone. Sarah turns to Echo again. Eliza. You know I'm right, Echo nods, just once. You know you're right. For a moment I panic. Then I see it, her eyes, her posture. She's playing her. Echo leans forward, voice soft like she's letting something go. I'm so warm and calm inside, she says. I no longer have to hide. Sarah lights up like she's just been spotlit across an auditorium. Both Prue and I get the reference. Thus, while Miss Park is twirling back to us, I see Echo shift one of her hands. She's managed to free one? I think so. Yes! Yes! Exactly. You're starting to understand. The world out there is broken. But this house, this is where we can be truly ourselves. No distractions. No boys. No lies. Just us. The grandma girl stiffens. So do I. That's a deep reference. Something very private. A very old joke. Something only the three of us would know. She knows everything. Sarah crosses to a cabinet, opens a drawer, pulls out a record sleeve and holds it aloft like Moses holding commandments. Metallica, Fight Fire with Fire. This was my first record. You three, echo the spirit, Prue the sword, riff the flame. We can make a new scene like it was meant to be, before the hashtags, before the glitter, before the boys in eyeliner crying into ring lights. She looks at us like we're failing a test. Metal used to be pure. You had to earn it. Now people come in with playlists, with kids' bop versions of Iron Maiden. Our best riffs played over sports highlight reels. It's cultural appropriation when they dress up as us. They wear the patches like badges they can swap out. It used to be about truth. I snap inside. Is that what all this is really about? Gatekeeping? Patches and badges you can swap out? What the fuck are you talking about? That's literally the point. Literally. You pick what you like. That's how it works. I'm so sick of this gatekeeper bullshit. Heavy metal is not some pure little snow globe you keep locked in the past. It's a riot. It's a mashup. It's meant to be fun. I holler at the top of my lungs. It's joy and pain and noise and everything all at once. It's death metal riffs in emo songs, baby metal playing the same bill as Behemoth, it's hip-hop beats in nu metal, it's Indian kids screaming along to Iron Maiden, it's a fucking mixtape, Sarah. She flinches slightly, like I spat in her holy water. You want to talk about purity? Real metal is dirty. Real scenes are messy. Genre splicing is how we stay alive. It's how we fight back. All the devils that you don't know coming along for the ride. That's the truth. Not this gatekeeper cosplay you're doing in your girl crush battle jacket. I step closer. Don't give me your church burner philosophy while you're stood there dressed like a reject from Twisted Sister. Fuck right off, you're everything that's wrong. You're a fucking joke. Sarah is striking some weird pose with her hands, like she's trying to appear more metal by holding her fingers like Dracula trying to throw horns. Those boys would become monsters, ordinary monsters who blended back into society. They'd have taken from you and left you hollow before disappearing into the daylight. They were not men of substance. They would plunder you. With the vinyl in her hands, it looks like some terrible, dated idea for a commercial for a record store. You're wrong. Peachy was a sweetheart. Unit was loyal. Monk was a man of honor, I declare. Prue steps forward, a thud under every syllable like Sabbath's Iron Man beat. What about Twink? Sarah's face darkens. Taylor didn't know what they were. You can't build a future on confusion. Twink was braver than all of us, Prue snaps. And you killed them. They were a boy, Sarah spits. No matter what they said, and boys can't be trusted. David was gay, I say. He would never have taken advantage of us girls. Sarah turns on me like I've missed the point. And he would have turned. They all do. It's what they're taught. It's what they become. Her voice is trembling now, not from doubt, but from a certainty wound so tight it's ready to tear. She places the record next to the tall candelabra and points a shiny black fingernail at me. I did what had to be done. I saw what they were going to become, and I stopped it. I look at Echo. She's giving me a look that says, keep her talking. So I do. You think whatever happened to you in the 80s gives you a free pass to kill anyone you like, to decide who lives and who gets turned into a fucking Wikipedia entry for some sad serial killer story? I think what happened to me was a warning, she hisses, then sings, your fate, your fortune, in my visions. She raises the vinyl like she might hurl it, then slips it from the sleeve and places it carefully on the turntable instead. She rests the sleeve by Echo's wax-coated hands on the table. Her hands are shaking now. You don't understand. I've built a world for you. A safe one. One where you can finally be free. I take a breath and say, what? We're supposed to sit around with a sad old spinster cosplaying her lost youth, painting each other's nails and listening to hair metal? I don't fucking think so. Sarah's eyes widen. Prue can't hold it back anymore. You killed our friends and you're calling it a favour? Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. I step closer. You built a shrine out of your pain and expected us to live in it? Do you know how demented that sounds? I narrow my eyes. And don't give me that flowers of romance fucking flowers in the attic bollocks. I heard what they used to call you, see-through Sarah. Behind her, one of the candles gutters. A long curl of wax snakes down. We had friends, I growl. Ah! And you gave us corpses, and now you want us to scissor you for eternity into the bargain? A silence, then a crack, a hiss, a flicker. Echo's holding the record sleeve over the candle, one corner already lit, so fast it properly catches a light. Echo holds it to the black lace spiderweb cloth draped over the table. It roars into a plateau of Halloween orange and chimney red flames in a single moment. Prue's already moving. Echo grabs my arm. Sarah sees it happening. And for the first time, she looks unsure. Not angry, not holy, just human. But it's too late now. The fire is really starting.